Hello and welcome to The Regulars. I'm Stacey McGonigal.
I'm Jason DeRoss.
And we're the Mustard Twins.
Hey, and I'm so excited because the chat's already going crazy about
Cinco de
Cinco
Mayo.
de Taco Tuesday and margaritas. And you know what? I've got all the ingredients for all of these things.
Do you really?
I just realized because somebody on here is like, oh, I don't have any margarita stuff. But I'm like, I can, today I can sit in tacos and margaritas. And I'm
I
going to do that for sure.
I would really love that so much.
Yeah.
I
Happy Taco Tuesday, happy Margarita Day, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy everything, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome. The Mustard Twins say hello.
Boom, boom, boom.
We didn't plan this, but we're just certainly happy. I'm happy that it's happening.
I don't have like a vast array of colors in my wardrobe. Like it's all blue and black for the most part. But I put this shirt on with purpose this morning,
Me too. You have
and
a
that you
vast.
showed up. It's in the air.
Well,
It's in the air.
best pals are going to be best pals. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Jason, I'm super pumped today because I have a bunch of surprises for you.
I wanted to come with a surprise today too. That's so weird.
You
And I
did?
looked for some. Yeah, because I can't read tarot cards or anything. So I was like, I'm going to come with a quiz just for Stacy. And I couldn't find one fast enough.
A
So
quiz? Why a
yeah,
quiz?
I don't know, something to talk about. I wanted to quiz you on your life today or something.
Well, you can easily quiz me on my life by just asking
No,
questions.
no.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I guess I could, but I want to do like a fun board panda type quiz to you or something.
A bored panda?
Yeah.
What's a bored panda?
It's like, I think it's a website that's just like where you find all those things that are not necessary, but they're time killers or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
So you want to do time killers with me?
Yeah.
Jameson's coming in with a Cinco de Yellow. I just can't believe we're matching, and we really didn't plan this. I'm really trying to lounge today. I'm feeling really ahead of my game today. Yesterday, my entire internet was down for hours upon hours, which was really quite fun. But today, I woke up. I played some Animal Crossing. Okay. I was getting
Mm-hmm.
some shit on the island because I took some time off. And I'm getting a lot of shit from my neighbors saying, where were you? We thought you were, something was wrong with you. Anyways, did that. I got a beer delivery today, which
Beautiful.
was delicious and wonderful. I'm excited. How's my island doing? It's doing okay. I really, like when you play The Sims and then you leave for a while and you come back and then like your sim is like screaming in the kitchen because everything's on fire. Not that everything's on fire on my island, but it's time for me to get my shit together. Certainly.
So you are essentially the god, and it's not about destiny. Like you control people's lives. So if you do leave, chaos ensues immediately. Like that's kind of what happens.
No, it's just like, when you leave for a certain amount of time in the island, like things grow, things
Like you
evolve.
put something in the oven and you forgot that you put it in the oven and you walk away.
No, but it's like, you got to tend to your weeds. You got to clean up the beach, like I've left things. And Elizabeth says, Stacey, does technology ever just work for you? Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. So here's what I've done. I've left
Uh,
my phone across the room. So a lot of my gifts to you today come from my ring, my phone. So I have to go grab that.
okay.
Jameson just,
Okay.
Jameson just said, I just saw an Animal Crossing horror movie trailer. It is sufficiently creepy. No thanks. I don't like to be
What?
scared. I don't want to be scared.
But like, is it going to be? I don't even know how you would do that. So it's just going to be like these pixelated figures that walk around and that
They're
they're
not
doing a horror movie in
pixelated.
that.
They're not pixelated. This isn't like Stardew
Sorry, not
Valley.
pixelated, but animated in a very like um
Oh, it's
I don't
fan made. It's fan made.
right. Okay, great.
Um, yeah. So last night, I'm feeling again very Kathy and Hoda, but I want to explain because like now in quarantine, it really is the small victories that like get you through. And
Mhm.
I did because I have a little grill in my house just for
Oh
just for
yeah.
the stovetop. You know what I mean? Um, and I grilled some salmon. Like, who am I, Bobby Flay? Like, I can't.
Hmm.
I marinated a beautiful marinade, honey maple or a mustard maple glaze.
I was about to say honey maple just seems very sweet,
Sweet, yeah.
but
It was mustard maple, and it was like smoky. Add a
hmm.
little smoke to that,
Have you
and
ever had liquid smoke?
hell yeah.
I didn't know about this until we had somebody come visit my wife's sister, and she's like, "Just buy this liquid smoke." I was like, "This is insane."
Liquid smoke is amazing. When I was vegan for a bit, liquid smoke was like it for me.
Yeah, I just want to like put a pan on in the morning and like put a bit of liquid smoke in there, just so my house smells like a campfire every day.
It's the best.
It's like potpourri. I'm gonna get a grill in my bathroom so I can just put liquid smoke in there and heat it and be like, my bathroom smells great. It smells like a fucking campfire.
Haley says it's amazing in cocktails. I bet it is. Like a really nice whiskey with some liquid
Ooh.
smoke would probably be really nice.
Yeah.
Liquid smoke is like a campfire mixed with like bacon.
Yeah. And to be honest, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what it's made of, whatever, but it's just liquid. And when you put it on your food, you can instantly smell barbecue. You're just like, so it just adds a smokiness to your food.
Yeah, and Tasha's right. Liquid smoke is great for vegan ribs and bacon. I'm also obsessed with this woman on TikTok named Tabitha Brown, and she is a really great vegan. I don't think she's like I don't think she's a chef. I think she's like an actor, but she's so great on TikTok with these recipes. And she made carrot bacon in her air fryer
Oh,
with
cool.
liquid smoke. Which makes me think because our dear friends Craig Brown and Jen Caruana are trying to get me to get an air fryer.
Is that like doesn't that like make jerky?
No, an air fryer is like kind of it's kind of like an oven, like a high activated oven. That's how I can describe it. But basically you can make like, fried chicken and like crispy stuff without like
Yeah.
having to dunk it in oil. You can also like cook stuff really quickly.
Right. Okay.
Everyone's saying get an air fryer. I can't believe you don't know what an air fryer is. I feel like you would have an air fryer.
I don't have a lot of the thing is I don't have a lot of these gadgets. Like I don't have a deep fryer. I don't have like we left our slow cooker back home. I don't have a lot of like cool kitchen gadgets.
Jan just says
Just
they're
'cause
not. Jan says we're not trying to force you, Stacey. We're just including you in our discussions. I don't want the money police on me. Jason is the money police. He says I can't have a robe like him and Rob, and now I can't have an air fryer because I'm not being fiscally responsible.
Hey man, we're hitting phase 2 this Friday, apparently, according to Gavin Newsom in LA. We're lifting some bans. Phase 2 starts Friday. So like,
What do you
know
mean?
what? I don't know all the details of it, but a few of these services that aren't considered essential will be opening up again
Like
next
what?
week. Toy stores and retail outlets and a couple things like that are going to be allowed to open again.
Really?
Yeah, we're doing it. So you know what? Maybe you'll be working a bit. Maybe go back to work a bit more or something. And
Yeah, you're right. I can finally reopen my toy store and really just get things cooking for me.
It's a toy store. Kids come in, they're like, it's just all exotic paint by numbers. What's happening here?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not like it is really crazy because like we obviously want these bands we want we want to like get out into the world, but for some reason now when I hear about these bans being lifted, I'm like, I don't know.
Snake King just put, I don't know about these phases, man.
Oh, really? Well, we're on the same page.
Yeah. But coming from Snake King, I just feel like that's a Big Lebowski sort of
Oh, if
feel.
Snake King's concerned, we all got to be.
I don't know about these phases, man. And I agree. Second wave's coming. People are dirty. You're wrong.
Yesterday I was walking the dogs and it was so many groups of people were just together, not at all social distancing. I'm not saying people outside aren't practicing. Like I'm not grouping everyone who's outside is not following the rules, but
there are people.
There are people, and I will say the people that I was running from in my hour-long walk with my dogs, I would say almost a clean, for sure, 90% were not following protocol.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. And also to Snake King's point, people are dirty. But
Oh, there was a
truthfully, 'cause-
woman waiting. I was waiting to go into the grocery store, and there was a woman spitting and coughing behind me. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Like, you know, when something's happening, you're like, "What?" Yeah. Stephanie says, "I think we'll be inside forever in NYC. Not forever. For a
yeah, but
bit.
still, like, I hope you're doing okay because
Yeah.
NYC got hit hard, and then
yeah.
we're gonna just open up a general debate on our thing because Kayla's coming in as well. Was like, we gotta get in. I guess she wants to visit her father, who she can't visit right now either. So like, there's definitely. I preach this all the time. There's two sides to every coin, and we gotta like meet somewhere in the middle for sure.
For sure. And obviously, we're sending like all of our love and
it's
positive. Yeah, it's such a.
And there's no. Life's not a textbook, like a math textbook where you just go to the end and go, that's the answer right there. Totally. It's 7. The whole time it was 7. There's no like right or wrong answer.
There's no right or wrong. And the thing is, it's like, it's a tricky thing when it's like beautiful out and it's nice out. And your instinct is to like get out into the world, and it's like you just have to kind of practice restraint. But there's nothing more annoying, and I absolutely get the feeling to rebel when you have like celebrities sitting in their pool going, "Stay inside, just stay." I'm like, "Oh really? Oh really? Oh, I should."
You've got a Ferris wheel in your backyard. Yeah. Just stay inside. Whoa.
And like, obviously, I would never want to critique like our, Lord and Savior, Oprah Winfrey, but she was also doing like a charity thing with
She's listening. You said her name.
I know. Hello. And John Krasinski were like trying to raise money, and I was like, Oprah, you just write a check. I don't want to give you. I'm holding on to the coins.
Yeah. Bill Gates is always the man. He's like, yeah, here you go. Here's like, here's $1 billion.
Yeah, it's just so funny where it's like, if you can reach into your pocket, I go, I wish. My purse is so light, it's going to float into the fucking sky. That's how light it is in these times. My whole industry, our industry has been eradicated. No one's coming. No one's going, hey, you know what I'd love? Get into a big group of people. I don't know. And see if these people up there, who I also don't know, can make me laugh. It's like, yeah, okay, good luck.
I reached into my bag to give, and I've got a donation of a loose tum and nail clippers.
And I couldn't give the whole time. I took a couple bites.
I had some wine.
Wine? Right? Well, I had some wine. Yeah. Today was supposed to be the opening of my the show at Second City, the one I was assistant directing.
Oh, wow.
So it's such a weird day today. Yeah. Someone was asking, are you guys allowed to go for walks and stuff there? We can go. Obviously, we're asked to practice restraint. Is that stopping a man from shadow boxing in a parkette near my house? No, it's not stopping him. Is he slowly bringing more and more equipment to the park every day? Yes, he is.
I think they were talking too about New York, because people are really reaching out to Stephanie right now too, because she's in New York, which is, again, a place that got hit so hard, and I can't even imagine like. Oh yeah. If you haven't been there, like, right, obviously, like, everyone lives on top of each other. It's so densely populated that it's like, it's got to be hard to even like find some space for yourself. Yeah, we are sending all of the things. Oh my God, this is unrelated. There's a squirrel that just came out of my recycling bin with a full piece of bread. Bikini Girl 2.0? Maybe. I love bread. I love bread. I love bread. Okay, so here's the thing. I want to give you a couple of gifts that have come my way via my phone. Great. So do you mind talking for a second, and then I will grab my phone? I would love it. Yeah, because what I did do last night, and I know Jameson's on the chat, and some people, you can go. I'm just going to chat. Are you going to talk about The Last Dance? You got it. I watched it as well. Did you watch it? Of course. I'm riveted. I'm about, I've probably got like 15 minutes left, which I did watch, but I watched it in one of those. If you're not ready to talk about it. I could talk about it. I watched it all, but I watched it in one of those phases, when you're going like this at the end of the night, you're like, I got to see this all. And you're like, and then you keep rewinding it because you're like, what did I miss? Did I miss something? Was I asleep? I don't even know if I was asleep. That sounds like a fever dream. My whole life is a fever dream. You know what? Fair. Okay, let me grab my phone and then I'll ask you what you said. Okay, great. I'll go to the chat just because, like, why not? An establishment in Denver requires masks, but so everyone's kind of, I think, living the same thing. If we're going out, you wear masks, you social distance. There's real basic stuff because I saw pictures of Toronto, which I thought I was so like Toronto seems to be the home of like everyone's good. And then a friend of mine put out this thing that was by my old place, and people are going nuts. They're basically like, first warm day, they're like, well, we're all going to get together, we're all going to party shoulder to shoulder, which, I'm missing. For those of you that didn't catch The Last Dance, it is doing pretty well. I don't know if it was my fever dream or not, but I do think that 5 and 6, I'll say it's controversial, weren't as exciting as the first 4. So I'm hoping, like, I loved the Dream Team stuff, and I'll talk about this when we actually talk about The Last Dance, because there are things they're not showing. I think Jordan did have final say on what happened in this documentary because it's really making his legacy grow a little bit more than, he is the best.
But. Okay, what did you say? Can you say it all over?
Yeah. I wasn't talking about much. I was talking about how in Toronto I saw a photo of like people not social distancing and first warm day, and they all go friggin' nuts like it's a fucking, like it's Blade, and they're having like a rave or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I was talking about The Last Dance and how I wasn't as excited about these episodes because I feel like they were really missing a couple key parts, and I think it's like because Michael Jordan's like, for example, they really get into the Kobe thing off the top of like, which I really loved because Kobe, if you don't follow basketball and you're like just following this, he's one of these things that really creates divisiveness in people. They're like, people like hate him because they're like, he was terrible, he just hogged the ball or whatever. And then there's the group that people that like love him, as we're going to talk about Kobe as a basketball player, love him because they're like whatever. And I'm on the love side because I'm like, so like, I remember watching the All-Star game they start with, and I'm like, Kobe's going to take Jordan's crown now. This is the passing of whatever. And if you watch that game, because I'm going from memory of like when I was actually watching it, they didn't show the recap like this, but like they went at each other one-on-one a bunch, and Kobe was kind of like initiating that, and he was beating him for the most part. But I'm like, but they were even talking in the narrative before and how they wanted Jordan to win the MVP. So I believe the coach sat Kobe for like almost the entire second half, and then Jordan walks away with the MVP. But I was like, Kobe was ready to take the crown then. He was ready to take it. But now his legacy grows because in history, we only remember like the very big, broad points. And it's like, oh, no, Jordan had won the MVP. He was the best in that game. And it's like, I don't know, man. Kobe was coming at him and he was young.
Right.
Hungry. Anyways,
what
did
you think of the controversy of the gambling? And they don't really,
that's the whole thing. He's just like, first of all, I'm like, he gambles. So what?
Yeah.
If you gamble on your own stuff, the hard thing is policing, like, what are you gambling on? Because if he gambles on his own game and he throws a game, then you're making money. But I'm like, if I was an athlete, wouldn't you also be like, I would tell like a fourth cousin and be like, hey man, seriously, here's some inside information. Just bet on this tonight.
But they don't even really talk.
I'm not going to throw a game ever, but I'm like, I know we're going to.
But they don't even talk about him gambling on the games.
I know.
They don't even touch on that. The only thing they touch on is like the one time he went to Atlantic City with his dad, and then maybe he was tired for a game. And I was like, there's murky waters.
But it's all Michael Jordan because, and what I mean by that is, you don't think most NBA players party and are tired during some games especially during the regular season, and gamble? Like, he's gambling with somebody on the team. The planes that take them all over the place are known for having card games and all. This isn't just like Michael Jordan specific.
Oh no, but that's the thing.
Michael Jordan did gamble.
But I think the thing was, the takeaway for me, which is just so like overwhelming, is that we as a society build people up to take them down. And that's not to say that people aren't problematic or they have problems or they have vices, because everyone has vices to varying degrees. But like, as a society, we're like, oh, we build Michael Jordan up to be like this perfect like figure, an amazing role model. He does nothing wrong. He's the, he every choice he makes is the right choice. It's like, that's not even close to being.
You're having the
potentially
conversation me and my wife had
real.
last night, because there's a part when Barack Obama even was like, I was a little disappointed he didn't back the guy against the racist, which is like very easy to say and be like, of course, but there's billions of social issues and problems out there. And he even said, they'd cut to Michael, he's like, I don't know, I didn't follow the guy that was running against him. I'm not into politics. It's not my place. So then there's like,
and what he said was in jest. And then what he said was in jest on the bus.
Yeah. And then we put it under magnifying glass and go, oh, wow. But so I guess you're backing a racist. And it's like, he's not backing a racist. He didn't throw his hat in the ring in that specific political debate.
But he donated to.
And he did donate. And he's like, I did. But we go, well, Michael, where the hell were you? And I get it, because there's also like going to be the argument that, well, he's probably the most prominent at that time, like person of color in North America.
Exactly.
And like, why aren't you backing this up? But he's just like, that's not on me. I wasn't about politics.
But I also thought Obama had like a really thoughtful perception. Oh my God. I literally was like almost like started crying with his explanation of like, I was like, he's such a good dad. I mean, obviously president, but I was like, oh my God, making a mistake in front of Obama. Like what a valuable lesson he would impart, because he just seemed so understanding of like, he didn't know what he like, not what he stood for, but it was like, I guess like what to do with his platform. And it seemed exhausting. And it's a thing that makes me think about what we're searching for in our own industry, because like we have the it girl, we have the it guy, then they disappear and we forget about them, and everyone is replaceable, and everyone we are waiting to build up to tear down. And it's a really kind of scary place to be, as we've all made mistakes. We will continue to make them. We're all like not perfect people by any means. And it just seems overwhelming.
I think I told you this one story, because I got to go, I was out drinking one night. Like this is back before
cool. Wow.
Killing it. I was out drinking one. Oh no, that really was the end of my story.
Yeah.
I was out drinking one night a long time ago. And because I say a long time ago, this is before I ever did comedy or anything. This is when I was still like working a office job so long ago. And I stumbled upon a person, a very large celebrity, and we ended up at the table drinking with this guy. And it was just four of us. It was him, his sister, and then me and my friend. And they were being very nice, had one like pint each. They were very like sober. They were very whatever, but we were like, we're buying you shots. And they're like, no, thank you. We're okay or whatever. Over the course of the night, maybe had two, maybe three beers, but this is a whole night. And then he left. And this is at the end of the night, for sure. Went back to a hotel. And the next day we see in the paper, like they just ripped him for being a drunk. And they're like, he was out drinking and partying. And I'm like, I was with him. He was the least drunk person, but the paper was like, this person's known. He was an Irish actor. And they're like, he's a drunk. And I'm like, I was drunk. I wouldn't last 2 seconds as a celebrity, because every day I'd be like, well, he's a drunk.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you grow up and if you want to get into the entertainment industry, you're often like, I want to be famous, and I'm like, ugh, that just seems like I'd like to be successful in my field. Absolutely 100%. Yeah. But do I want people like taking photos of me constantly and like just waiting to find, something that to was one ruin of the your most
interesting parts of the documentary for me last night was like, again, we know it. I know that when you're a basketball player, especially an elite athlete or an elite actor or whatever, your life isn't yours when you go out and you walk down the street. But to the extent that Michael Jordan is like, I'm on a terrible couch that my body does not fit on.
Yeah.
And this is my heaven because I'm alone for 2 minutes.
Well, it was crazy to see his schedule, right? So it's like, when he gets into the arena, like he's meeting with like children and charities, and like his time is not his before the game. Then he gets ready for the game. Then after the game, he has maybe 10 minutes to himself. Then he has press, and then he's got to walk through those halls. Everyone's asking for autographs. Like there is no time for himself. Then he gets to the hotel. There's people waiting, and it's not to be like, oh, obviously he's a celebrity and he's a billionaire. But at the end of it, like humanity and like the empathy in me, it was like, oh my God, you need like time to yourself. That's why people go crazy.
You're a product, because they talk about, going back to Kobe Bryant, they used to talk about how he's the first one in the gym and the last one to leave. And the guy does things and like, and everybody that looks at that goes, well, of course, I'm a basketball player. That's my job. I would go, I'd be practicing much more. But then this documentary shows you, it's like, oh yeah, you think that's what you'd be doing, but you would be doing interviews and meeting, like Michael Jordan's got to be like on so many of these like Wish Kids lists and stuff. Like they showed that, and I was like, that's heartbreaking. So how are you practicing? And
totally,
I don't know. I don't mean to get back into this too deeply. I know our conversation or our chat always goes a bit down. Where it's like, okay,
what? You're having a full spiral. You're okay.
Well, I want to know what Nigel Downer meant by controversy, because he wrote that in the chat.
Oh, because you were talking about the Kobe controversy.
Oh, right. Fair enough.
Okay, so I have some surprises for you. And that is, I have collected, because of our wonderful and talented and incredible and hilarious listeners have sent us in our DMs a bunch of dumb stories to tell you about.
Okay. I hope they're none of the, well, I've got a whole bunch of them today, so.
Only Jason would take something nice and go, you know what?
No, I love it. Okay. I love it.
Period. End of sentence.
I love it. This is Christmas. I'm opening, and this isn't like the presents. This is actually, you know what some of the nicest part of Christmas is, was in my place?
What?
Went through your stocking.
Oh my God. My stocking was filled with loose batteries. One time
your brothers were like, cool, weapons.
My mom once gave me loose batteries in my stocking that she just for sure forgot that she had thrown in there. And they were like AAAs. And I was,
don't go in anything.
And I was thinking, oh, then she must have gotten me a gift that requires AAAs. No. And my dad called her. She goes, I go, what's with the loose batteries? She's like, what? And I'm like, you just got me loose batteries for my stocking? I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, I think you just threw in old batteries into my stocking. And my mom was like,
you called her. Did she send you a stocking?
No, I called her out. Like I was an adult.
Called her out.
Yeah, it wasn't like being, I just was like, what are the, like loose, not in a package. Like I was like, what are these? And she was like, for whatever you need. And my dad goes, you forgot you put them in there. She goes, I did not. He's like, I think you did. I think you did. And I'm like, yeah, she did.
And then your dad went, I'm going to the basement.
I'm going to the basement. Oh, the best was when I think I've told the story before, but the best present we ever got my dad was a set of golf clubs. And we were all teens, like in 18, like,
That's really good for being a bunch of teens at your place to buy him a set of golf clubs. That's super nice.
Yeah. So we all kind of got together and we were all like old enough to drink and stuff. So we were all having Baileys and coffee. My dad got looped on Baileys and coffee. And he goes, you guys, once he opened his gifts, he was like, he opens the golf clubs. He goes, you guys good to just kind of open the rest? And just went into another room and just slowly took out each one of his clubs. And my mom had to be like, can you get back in here and watch everyone else open their gifts?
But that means like, that would have been my present. I would have been like, you made him so happy. Like he was like, literally,
I'm going to
go play these golf clubs.
That's my classic dad. He had to take a little nap after that, a little Bailey's Christmas nap.
I thought you were going to say like at Christmas, like he was just going to put them in his trunk and drive somewhere and be like, I'm just going to go shoot some balls.
That would have
be impossible in Alliston because there's snow would have been
everywhere. But I'll tell you, yeah, that would have been a great gift. No, we just got him golf clubs and he was like, peace out. I'm over this. I don't care that you got the blouse you wanted from Ricky's. Stacey, Merry Christmas. I don't care.
What's the funnest gift you ever got?
Oh my God. That's such a good question. There's a couple that stand out in my mind. So I really wanted moon shoes or moon boots, which was trampoline
I remember
footwear.
This,
yeah. Took out the Christmas tree on that.
This is unrelated, but what size are your feet?
7. I have little feet. I'm like a little lady. I loved, one of my favorite gifts was the Ace of Base tape in like this military tape case, slate gray. Loved that.
Do you mean one of those things that were like the tapes here and then it came down and it was an extra like 8 inches below it with
No,
like
it was
so you
like
could
it was like this slate gray, like just like case. So you would open, you could put all your tapes in.
oh, I
It was like
see.
a travel case in case you're going to your friend's house and you're like, "Oh, bring my tapes."
I just want to point out, I don't think you heard that, but I got a ding on my computer, which I haven't had since we started, and it was the Paint Lounge just letting me know that they're still around.
Screw you, Paint Lounge. No one wants to go.
I do. I want to go real bad.
Every time I walk past a Paint Lounge, it's a couple going, we said today would be a good day. We said today would be a good day.
When I walk by it, I just hear a couple walk by, and one of them always goes, "Hey, I got one of those on Groupon. You want to go?" And they go, "Hell yeah!"
I don't know why a Paint Lounge makes me so upset, but here we are. Here we
I
are.
love it. Let's get to Chris. Oh, I'll tell you first. The one gift that I remember from my childhood wasn't mine, but my brother's. He asked for a dozen donuts, and he got a dozen donuts.
That's one of my favorite stories that you've ever told me about your brother. I remember you saying that to me before.
Yeah.
I get it because like for me, like if I can't have a Dairy Queen ice cream cake for my birthday, I think you guys, I had a plate of white powdered donuts as a birthday cake, and it was like my most favorite cake I've ever had.
I believe that.
I love white powdered donuts, like the little ones that are really dry. Even if they're a bit stale, like when you eat
Sometimes they're not as easy to find as you think.
I know.
I remember like there was times when we were on the stage and I was like the Saturday night wait, and I was like, I'm gonna go get them, and they were not easy to find.
They're hard to find. It's a small town classic, but I love a small white powdered donut.
Do you know that there's a cereal down here called Donuts, and it's just those little white powder donuts?
I don't want it.
Cereal.
I don't want those. I want like, and you know what? Like I deny myself them. They are but a treat. Like once a year. Once a year, like it, like my mom used to have like the banana split day. Like she would just be like, "I'm getting a banana split today, once a year." And I was like, "Okay." We didn't put it in the calendar, but yeah, I will just crush and destroy a small white powder donut. Okay, so
And I also have to like just jump back real quickly. Nigel, I agree with you. 5 was amazing. I think 6 was when maybe I was just tired.
I do want to point out, I started following Scottie Pippen on Instagram. Now, Pippen is, listen,
Just remember, this is, I mean, like he's probably 50 something and he started an Instagram account.
No, he didn't just start it. He's had it for a bit. And
okay.
He's been married twice. Okay. Mm-hmm. His recent wife allegedly cheated on him with the rapper Future, which he denies. But Pippen said, "I'm out. I'm not dealing with this." So,
but Pippen would have said it just like that. I cheated. I'm out.
I'm out. I'm out. Get your hand out of the glove. Okay, so this was sent by MVP of the chat, Jameson. He sent me this. Okay.
Great.
Florida deputies arrested a man. Oh, hold on. Let's get this correct.
Yeah, let's put some dumb stories.
Here we go. I'm just gonna.
It feels weird being on this side of these dumb stories.
Does it? So now you'll see.
Now
you can see why we get frustrated sometimes.
What is this dumb story going to be about? Okay.
Wait. You sometimes are just such a dad. I can't even.
I'm sweating.
You are really sweating. There was one of these, I can't remember what episode it was, but I was wearing a shirt and I'd fully sweat through it. And that was a soft day after seeing that. 6 wasn't great, says Nigel, in comparison to 5, but he digresses. Okay, so
5 was great though. Like, anyways, we'll jump out of that.
Okay, are you excited for this or not?
I'm excited for this.
Okay, perfect.
This is like Christmas morning and someone keeps coming over. Does anyone want some eggs before we start? No.
Who's the egg person in Christmas?
I don't know.
Florida deputies. Florida deputies arrested a man who had been lit. You just let me know when you're ready for the story.
Oh, you've never said, "Well, I'm telling a dumb story." Of course, Florida. While I'm saying it. Now you know how I feel on this side of the stories.
Oh, yeah, killing it.
Florida deputies arrested a man who had been living out his quarantine on a shuttered Disney World island, telling authorities it felt like a tropical paradise.
This guy's living castaway in the best way possible.
Yeah. Florida, Orange County Sheriff deputies found Richard Mcguire on Disney's Discovery Island on Thursday. He said he'd been there since Monday or Tuesday and had planned to camp there for a week. The 42-year-old said he didn't hear numerous deputies searching the private island for him on foot, by boat, and by air because he was asleep in a building. I knew you guys I didn't hear the helicopter.
Why are they all looking for him? Why were they looking for him to begin with?
Richard stated that he was unaware that this place had a no trespassing sign, and that to him it just looked like a tropical paradise.
But I also leave him alone. Why are we chasing? Is this in Disney? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Well, that's probably why. But they're like, so was there cameras that spotted this guy, and then they're like, where did he go? And then they were looking all through Disney. It's like, I'm just hanging out in the castle.
Security
castle, baby.
Even better. A security representative for Disney said they saw Mcguire using a company boat Thursday, noting that
Wait, does he work there?
No.
Okay.
So he was using their boats just in the canals of this island. It was previously called.
See this movie.
It was previously called Treasure Island. Discovery Island had been the site of a zoological park before the island was closed to the public in 1999. So he basically got locked. He locked himself in there. Was taking the boats out. Was just living his dream in Disney.
And Jameson's right. For Florida, this guy is considered a genius.
Oh yeah, this is incredible. And that's coming from the Mustard Twins.
You know what? Florida was just working up to the genius. All they were doing was experimenting with all these dumb things because eventually one of them's going to hit. And this one was the hit.
Oh, hell yeah.
Good old Dick Mcguire fucking living in Florida, living in Disneyland.
Hey, you guys hear about Dick Mcguire? Yeah, he's living in Disneyland now.
Shutter Island, which isn't that a horror movie?
Oh, I don't know.
Was he living on the haunted house island? Because that's pretty friggin' cool too.
That's pretty friggin' cool. You hear about old Dickie Mcguire? Living in Disney World's pretty friggin' cool. Takes the boats out, pretends not to see the signs. Okay.
I didn't see the sign that said no trespassing into Disneyland. It's pretty awesome. I guess I'll just take this boat out. There's no sign here. Anyways.
Fellas, put the guns down. In fairness, I didn't hear the helicopters. I didn't hear you yelling. I didn't see the guns, and I certainly didn't see the signs.
I've eaten all the hot dogs, but there was no sign saying don't eat the hot dogs.
When I left my family telling them I was just getting cigarettes, okay, I simply was at the time, okay? Now, I thought if you find an island, I shotgunned it, in all fairness. Please don't make me go back to my life. Honestly, if I were to disappear somewhere,
it really is a magical place.
Except for Epcot Center, it's not how that's not how I remembered it.
Johnny's over in freaking Epcot Center. He's not having a time.
Well, wait, don't tell him I told you his name. I think if I were to disappear, I wouldn't want to go to a theme park. They're not my favorite place.
Well, you wouldn't. No, you don't like them.
It's not that I don't like them. It's just for me, going to Disneyland or whatever is just it's you got to bring your backpack and you got to have your sunscreen and you got to have your water bottle and you're hot and you got to wait in line and there's just
not when you're Dickie Mcguire, you just bring you're living there.
Oh yeah,
you don't gotta pack. You pack one bag, you go there, you live there for 2 weeks.
Just like Jordan said to the teammates, when they were about to battle it out, he goes, "I only brought one suit. I brought one suit. Didn't bring two. Brought one suit to defeat the Knicks. So Dickie McGuire's packing one suit because he's got to make it work, right?
I want to be in that New York restaurant after the Bulls lose. And he shows up in the same suit the next day, and he's like, oh, God damn it. I told my teammates one suit.
My favorite, not to go back to The Last Dance, but my favorite was Charles Barkley with just his, when they're like, so Charles, what do you say to the people of Chicago? He's like, take the signs down. Take them down.
I don't know how much you know Charles Barkley's personality, but if you want to see somebody that's like good to go for a good laugh, Charles Barkley,
Oh,
watch the
he's funny.
documentary about the actual dream team. And the dream team was literally this, like Michael focused, all the basketball players focused. Some of them didn't want to even go outside. Charles Barkley leaves practice and he's like, woo, Barcelona, what's up? And he would just go party with everybody and be like, I don't care. Like, I'm living life. And then in the documentary, there's also this guy named John Stockton,
Okay.
who is like a smaller looking. He looks like he's a dad from Utah. He played on Utah, but he just looks like he might have 8 wives. And he would walk around. Nobody else could get around because they would get just mobbed and they wouldn't be able to go anywhere. This guy was walking around with his wife and kid. He even like, they have a streeter of him walking around and he'd stop people and be like, you know, the dream team? And they'd be like, oh yeah, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson. And he'd be like, they'd be wearing a shirt with all the caricatures of the face. He goes, what about that guy? And they're like, I don't know that guy.
It was him.
And it was literally him. Yeah.
Jeez. That's like my boy Pax, you know, Pax and you know, doing that. he makes the winning shot and no one even thanks him. And then it's just him sitting like a used car salesman or like a guy who sells pools in the interview, and he's like, that was a really special day for me. I'm like, I'm sorry, who are you? Feel bad for my boy Pax. Okay, so another dumb story.
Great.
Also, I am getting some love on the theme parks.
I saw. Yeah,
and I'm
like
loving that. I'm seeing that I'm letting it land.
Don't like theme parks.
It's just like it's a lot of logistics. Like this is what the Muster twins, we're on the same page most of the time. Okay?
Not with theme parks.
Not with theme parks because I think you are an events person. You like to
I'm ready to put in work to have a good time.
You're ready to put in work to have a good time.
To have a good time.
I don't want to put in the work. I'll bring the personality, but I need everyone to do everything else.
I'll bring the personality, but I'll also pack a bag of props so we know we're having a good time at the cottage.
No, but when we're partying, there is a moment when partying with Jason, we have to go, it's fine. Everyone's having a good time. Just relax. You're taking it to a level we don't want to go. You got like 4 pool noodles and no pool. You're like, so I should get rid of these? Yeah, man. This isn't a pool party.
So I guess no sword fights. Okay.
But but if we don't do sword fights, we still having a good time? Are we still having a good time if I take these noodles away?
You guys want me to get rid of the American Ninja Warrior course out the back? You guys come out the back yet?
Yeah, there's so much planned. You know, that's why you like a paint lounge. I'm like, okay, why don't we just like drink some wine and like eat some food and then just like hang out?
Yeah, totally. But then on top of that, we'll play King's Court and then we'll
I can't with it. Like, I just can't. I'm just not built. And it sounds like I'm like a negative Nancy, but I love a hangout. But I need it to be easy breezy. Bits, jokes.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Games.
I'm never a second location. Oh, games. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I can't. I tried to play Settlers of Catan and everyone's like, why are you selling that grain? I'm like, because I want this to end. I want to light myself on fire with the grain so that we can remember that we're adults. We don't need this to hang out.
You guys know this is fake money, right? Like Monopoly, one person's going to win. It's just an analogy for capitalism.
There's nothing more annoying to me than a person who loves games or the rules of a game. No, I don't want that. When they're like, actually, it's like, actually.
I have one friend like that too. And I know that people don't necessarily all know the game euchre because I think it's a Canadian thing. But you would play like a hand of euchre. And if you played a card wrong, then they flip out and they're like, let's go back and we'll read it. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like,
relax.
If that's the case, then there's no strategy to this game. It's literally just play the cards you're given in a certain way. And maybe you win and maybe you don't, but it's the cards you're given. And isn't that life?
Yeah. Well, Jameson just said this description really makes me want to be in the D&D party with Stacy. Listen, the thing about D&D that I like is that we can all just be Jameson just set it on fire. Hell yeah. That's my key. I'm like, we don't need to get like, luckily my crew of D&D people are just like, it's all funny. Like, how can we just make this ridiculous? But yeah, I'm not about the rules. When someone's like, actually, Stacey, you can't do that. I'm like, oh, can I not do that? Oh, I can't do that? Oh, okay. Well, I guess.
But D&D for you also is like, we're gonna be drinking, and if you didn't have like you would never be the dungeon master because you
No,
you don't want to put that planning into it.
I don't want to plan. I don't want to be in charge ever.
I feel like I don't know Dungeons and Dragons, but I feel like I want to set up a quest for us and be the dungeon master.
No, you would not be good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know. I don't want to limit your dreams. I don't want to like lower the ceiling a
It's
bit.
not a hard dream, but
No,
I'm like,
no.
I'm wondering what
I
we're fighting for. It's like, it would be a quest of the night ham sort of deal for
It's
sure.
a quest for the night hand, but we need someone above it all who's just like so understanding and can't be pushed over. If you were like, Stacey, your strength
one of
has been
those
lowered,
things.
I'd be like, it's been what? Jason, I'm sorry, my strength has been lowered. I don't think so. You'd be like, okay, fair.
Oh, look at I rolled a dice. It's not been lowered.
Danielle, my lovely friend Danielle, just said she cried at a euchre family tournament. It was so intense. I see that for her. She's competitive. And sometimes when you're younger and you're playing a game with your family, you're really fighting for more than the game. You know what I mean? Like, you ever sit down when you're like a teen and you're like playing Monopoly with your family and I'm like, I'm going to destroy my mother. I'm going to steal everything she has and throw her in prison. Oh, Danielle, it was like 3 years ago. Yeah, that tracks too. Jan says she feels that your quest would be the best. Partway through, everyone would just end up at the pool. That's true. I feel like
Eating
Jason as the
burgers.
dungeon master would just be like, yeah, guys, let's just chill out.
Oh God, we've come to it's the opening of the cave, and the 8-legged monster comes out to get us. I'm not even being specific, but eventually it would be like, great. So what do? We set up a rave because we
No,
gotta stay up all night.
the dungeon master doesn't help. The dungeon master goes, uh-oh, so a warlock has appeared. What do you do?
Yeah.
He doesn't go, hey guys, like I just thought we'd like, I set up this tent. There's some beers and
Whoa.
stuff.
Who's running this quiz? The war.
So like that would be presented to you. We have to get my dungeon master on here, and he can just run this whole thing for us. Okay, so
Yeah.
but I like D&D because you can just kind of like you can take it as seriously as you want, or you can just do it for jokes. And you know that I'm here for jokes. Jameson, you want to kick out that window? Roll an athletics check. Okay, so here's another dumb story. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
And this comes from our lovely listener, Crystal, who sent me this.
Right. I
okay.
love these presents.
Do you really love these presents?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. I thought you might be stressed out about it.
I'm always stressed out, but
Okay. So Murder Hornets have now entered the U.S. and they could,
yes.
Wow, you've heard about this. A roughly
Murder
2-inch
Hornets?
long.
Yeah, because they're on the West Coast. So they're
Yeah.
here, man.
A roughly 2-inch long insect known as the murder hornet has made its way to the U.S. for the first time ever.
Yeah.
The Asian giant hornet, I'm not even going to
Kills
try.
about 50 people a year in Japan.
Kill up to 50 people. Susan Kobe, bee breeder. Oof, tough handle.
But that's
Crystal!
how she introduces herself to everybody.
First of all, Crystal's in the chat. Hello, Crystal. Thank you so much for the story. Hi, my name is Susan Kobe. I am a bee breeder.
Susan Kobe, bee breeder. Thank
I'm
you.
a bee breeder. Okay. Thank you
Yeah, I was
very
just
much.
wondering if you had a Ralph's card because you want to ring it through. Yes, I do. I'm a bee breeder.
Oh my God. You know, I've
Why
never.
is a bee breeder biting honey? It's a funny
Okay.
story.
It's a funny story. It is a funny story. I am fighting with my daughter right now. And so
She's got the bees.
She's got the bees.
bees.
Logs.
I'm losing my identity.
My daughter's stolen my bees.
I'm a bee breeder. It's all I've ever known.
You know, anyone who's a bee breeder, like that's so cool, but you know, you just know there's something else.
Totally, because that's what's normal. Like, I feel like they'd be at a party and be like, you'd be like, oh man, and we just, I don't know, we want to get this thing going in the backyard. They're like, okay, great. Well, where's your smoke cannon?
Is that called an apiary? Like a bee?
Maybe you're over me. Jameson will chime in 2 seconds. You'll know
Yeah,
what's
can you
up.
tell us about apiaries? There's just like certain types of people where you're just like, you know, like I was watching this girl on Instagram, and thank you, Jan. And she just had a bee land on her arm, and it just like was walking, and she was like, "Oh, I had a friend drop by today," and there's like bee walking around. Now a bee flew near my face while I was fixing my backyard, and I was like, "Kill it!" It's like I'm just not that type of person, Like it takes a certain person who's like, "There's something about a bee that makes me want to get a couple together and breed them." You know what I mean? Like, no thanks.
When you meet your new neighbor for the first time and you go over, they're like, "Come on over, we'll play some euchre. We'll have some drinks." And you walk in, they're like, "Anyways, this is my pet bee." You'd be like, "Okay,
Out of here."
I gotta move, sell my house.
And like, this might be controversial, but it's the same way I kind of hold people who like have birds.
Okay.
What?
I got something for you after these gifts.
Okay, because one of my friends back in the day, he used to have a bird. I didn't know he was a bird person, and he was like, "Hey, you want to see my bird?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I guess I'll see your bird." And then opened the cage, and the bird flew out, and my instinct was to just kind of try and swat it down. It was I had to leave. I wasn't trying to hurt the bird. I just was like, they just scare me. Birds just like really freak me out.
I'm sending you something.
Oh God. Okay. Okay. I think I have one more story for you. I'm just trying to find it here. And please, if you have any stories, send them my way. Jameson says there was a lady on my street the other day who was walking with 3 birds on her, all leashed up by their feet. That's tough.
Oh man.
That's just tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People, apparently it's the 3rd largest pet by number in North America is people having birds.
And like, I don't want to say it like judge if people are in the chat here and they own birds. It's just like, it's not just like, it's not for me, Yeah.
Because you can't I thought a lot of people bought for birds. I think a lot of people get pets because they want a companion they can pet. Of course.
And you can with birds. And you can. I've seen them. It's just,
you can. Okay.
Yeah, it's like when people have lizards and stuff. It's just not for me. I can't mess with it. It's just not for me. Okay, I'm gonna have to find this later. I've lost the last story, but it's fine.
Oh no.
What's your stories?
Maybe I'll give you this one because it has to do with birds. Maybe it's the same story.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it about the Falcon Thief?
No, go on.
So the Falcon Thief, in quotes, because this is what he's named himself, exposes the high-flying life of a notorious rare bird smuggler. And then if you copy and paste that link into your thing, you can see this guy's name's Lendrum. He was apprehended in June 2018 because he was carrying rare falcon eggs strapped to his body in a custom sling. And so these guys would smuggle falcon eggs. They would get in helicopters and go up and grab endangered falcons because these things go for crazy money.
Ew, and this is how he was doing it?
Yeah, I just thought the picture was hilarious because I'm like, I would be a terrible egg thief because he's got them strapped to his stomach in a sling, but I would be the guy that would be on an airplane and go,
I can't smuggle anything.
No, not at all.
He was smuggling a bird?
He was smuggling their eggs, but he strapped them to himself, and it looks like he's just got a tensor bandage that he puts the eggs in around his stomach.
I'll put it up. I've got it right here. It's so gross. That guy's nasty. Ew. Yipers diapers. That's what I say.
But also, the first sign of turbulence, he's cracking $400,000 all over his own stomach.
My eggs.
Imagine seeing a guy running up and down a plane aisle being like, "My eggs."
Oh God, no! I've sat beside you during plane rides, and I'm done. That's my extent.
I'm the best person to ride planes with.
I think I've already said this story.
During the takeoff, I'm scared out of my mind.
Take it from your other mustard twin. You're a nightmare. And my favorite thing about Jason when he freaks out is that he swears he's not freaking out and he swears he's having a good time. And it's truly the most irritating thing because you're like, dude, it's okay, calm down. I'll never forget, we're sitting there at the back of the plane, literally we might as well have just been holding our hands for people to piss and shit in them. That's how far back we were sitting. and we start getting turbulence. The flight attendant has a sip beside us like she's a new friend. And Jason's like, oh, what are we gonna, we gonna like, was this plane going down? Is it going down? I'm kidding. Is it gonna go down? Have you experienced this before? I bet you have. Have you? Because I need to know. Have you? You've experienced it?
I was on a plane heading to BC when I was like a teenager though. And like when we took off, all of a sudden there was this really loud pop, but it was followed up by this loud, like almost like a lawnmower sort of noise. Like it was like, zzz, and it stayed for the entire flight, which was like a 5-hour flight.
Oh my God.
But I was looking around and I was the only one that cared. And I'm like, am I the only one hearing this? I said it to my brother probably like 8 times. Like, you're not hearing that? He's like, just chill out, man.
Well, you do freak out.
Which is crazy because when we were very young, I was fine with planes and my brother was not. My mom was sitting with him on a plane one time. I can't remember where we were going. I think we were coming to LA. And she looked over just as we were taking off and he was literally holding up a cross over his head.
Where did he get the cross? Where did he get the cross?
He had it on his necklace or whatever. I guess we went through like first communion and stuff. So he had like a cross on his neck and he lifted it up and he was like literally saying something.
Oh my God.
You got to stop that.
Yeah, get out of here. That's like Charlie whispering to the plants at night. You got to stop that. Good night.
But taking off on a plane now and looking across and seeing like an 11-year-old boy like chanting with the cross would be like,
I would be like, there's a ghost child in this plane.
Has this plane went down before? Because I think the ghost is on this plane.
Well, the funniest thing is too, like you're so charming that it's like the flight attendants feel bad. Like when you're like, oh my God, hi, I'm Jason. What are we dying together today? Like, oh my God, you're just holding on, just white knuckling. The word.
That's true.
Yeah, I talked about this before, but
I like control in my life. Like I don't like to be like,
you like
something goes wrong,
control in your life.
In the sense of like, I'm not flying the plane. I'm sitting on this tube and I've trusted that the engineers and the pilot and everybody has made this perfect and I'm not going to die.
And then all of a sudden the pilot emerges. The pilot emerges and it's Peter from The Bachelor. And he's like, hey, y'all.
Then I'm still getting news about him. And I'm like, why are people, who cares? He's with Kelly and we don't care. I don't care.
Have you been seeing their TikToks? I
refuse to give them any more of my time.
They're really cringy. They're really cringy.
Hannah jog around with Rudolph. I've watched that.
What?
Hannah Ann Sluice is she's dating. It looks like she's dating a quarterback.
Oh yeah,
now.
she's dating a quarterback. Yeah.
Is it Mason Rudolph?
Cool. That's pretty awesome.
And she's like, the only thing I saw was like Peter and Kelly, his co-pilot. Oh my God, does he call her a co-pilot?
Yeah, he was like, taken off with you. Thanks for giving me the blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
You're now my co-pilot in life. I'd be like, man, I quit.
But here's something that's kind of crazy for a little Bachelor news. Just to end out the podcast here. So Nick Viall, who is a Bachelor man.
He does the Viall Files or something like that.
Yeah, which is great. Yeah. So anyways, he called out Madison because Madison is trying to be, she's like thirsty, which was our call from after the final rose. The Get, truly from the Get. Thirsty. She's now trying to like just drag Peter at all costs. Like going on interviews, blah, 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 blah.
It's not that Peter doesn't deserve it, but she also deserves as much.
And then Nick Viall called her out for being a liar. First of all, she got caught running her own fan account. Okay, so that came out. She was like, yeah, she got caught liking her own fan account or running her own fan account. And then like, okay, what's his quote? I'm going to look this up, but yeah, like bad.
What? Where do you figure that out? Be like, I'm going to start a fan account.
So many people do that. So many influencers do that. Mm-hmm.
I think that would be soul crushing because if I did that, I would have one fan the whole time and I'd be like, I'd have to try to forget. Like I'd have to memento my life. So I was like, I didn't know that one fan was just me. And I'd be like, why is he being so quiet? Why is that fan being so quiet?
Okay. So this is what he says. This is what Nick says. Okay.
Yeah.
We also know He goes, we also know Madison to be a little bit of a liar. It's true. I mean, people want to forget. I know Madison wants to forget it, but her Instagram, that's not an allegation. It's a fact. She did that, which is fake, her fan account. And listen, it is silly and trivial, right? And there's a logical explanation for it, which is that she wanted people to like her. And that's a totally relatable thing. Listen, I'm more critical of that. And I know Madison thinks I don't like her. And I know people think I've been hard on Madison. I think she's just fine. I've even defended Madison. But if you're going to be righteous and you're going to be pious and you're going to talk and you're going to talk about your relationship with God and how you want to be an example to young women, blah, 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 then I hold you to a higher standard. So don't be a liar and don't be vain. I'm vain. I can be vain. Don't have your family use Bruce Pearl's house for your hometown and sell it as your own home when it's not your home.
Whoa. He murdered her.
Yeah, killing it.
But we're still talking about them. Like, I don't want to talk about Madison or Peter.
I know, but
in
here's
my
the thing.
entire life.
The reason that they're being so thirsty is because literally we're in the quarantine, right? So like they can't go on Bachelor in Paradise. Like they can't like.
Right. So they were like, this is my moment. This is like.
Mike Henna, I had to unfollow because I forgot we followed her on our Instagram, but like. She's just being thirsty. And Maddie is being so thirsty. And like the plan obviously would have been to like go on these like influencer trips, go on Paradise, like keep the fame going, but they can't now. So now they're like, Madison's like, she's shady. She's shady dealings, 100%.
Yeah.
And the reason I think that people are like wanting to take her down a peg is because she is so righteous. Like, oh, my morality is so much higher. I make all the right choices. It's like, no. You can get down into the swamp with the rest of us. Please.
Look, she went on The Bachelor and I mean, we've already talked about this to death, but thinking I'm going to remain a virgin and I'm also going to win it. And the person that I'm going on there with, who's The Bachelor, who's going on this show to like go through fantasy suites week and all that kind of stuff too. I'm going to make them also remain faithful while they date 30 other friggin' women.
Well, I think she was going on the show to set
stupid.
She was on the show to set herself up for like an influencer life.
100% she was going to be a Christian influencer by the end of it.
Hell yeah.
Like, follow me. Mm-hmm. Which again, no problems with Christians, no problem with any of this.
No, you want to be an influencer and you want to be thirsty, but then I'm going to hold, if you want to be that thirsty, then I'm going to hold you to the same standard that we would hold like ourselves to like Mike Henna, who's like, oh, she's just like a thirsty, which is great. And like, go get it, girl. But Madison, you're the same. So like, don't try and play this like morality thing. And like, obviously she did a fake fan account that like kept, promoting her in like a good light. Anyways, I just loved Nick taking her down. And then that small or like that huge N bomb at the very end being like, also you lied about your hometown and that's not your real house.
It's not even her hometown?
No, that's her hometown, but that's not her real house.
Yeah, he said the name like we should all know this name. Is this a big preacher or something?
Well, come on, like give me a break. Like as if like her teen dad can afford a home.
Yeah.
Please. How much money do you make on a paper route? Not that much. And you got to pay taxes on that because you're a freelancer. So. So that's just something to think about. I
really like Madison's dad riding around on like a BMX bike, tossing newspapers in like a little baseball hat, as I'm also a grown man wearing a baseball hat.
Extra, praise be Lord. Praise be the man himself.
Do you know that my first job was a newspaper boy for sure. And
oh really?
Got my picture in the paper for paper route person of the week or something like that.
You got yourself in the paper for that?
Yeah. I think they just gave it out I mean, I know they just gave it out randomly to like, they're like, they would just go through the list and be probably alphabetical order, be like, this week it's this guy. And it's like, I was with my brother and the two of us are in there.
Right.
With our like spiky mullets.
That's so funny. Sorry, I'm just going to pull up a picture because people wanted to see a photo of Madison's dad. So I have it here.
Oh, because people don't know. Madison's dad is a child.
This is teen dad.
He looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is teen dad. All right. Well, listen, we've come to the end of the podcast, the show of the day. And do you have anything to say, Jay, before I do our spiel?
I don't think so. I think thanks for everybody to come and listen yet again. I hope we're in week 7. And we're gonna have casual Friday. All I can say is that we have.
Yeah, I
Casual
don't know
Friday on
why
this Friday, which I
it
can't
makes
wait
me low key, full key mad. All you do is talk about Friday. We have Wednesday, Thursday.
Well, no, I know. I
Pump
talk
your
about other things,
brakes.
but we don't have any guests lined up, so we have no guests
And
to
that's
introduce for
okay.
the rest of the week. It's totally okay, but like I'm not going to say.
Okay.
And we have
Jason's
Mr.
having a
Milford.
full spiral, so I'll take over.
I feel great.
Are we going down? Are we going? So we're not going down. I feel great. I feel 100% great. I trust the pilot. Who's the pilot? Okay, this is fine. I'm not scared. I just want everyone to know I'm having a good time. We don't have any
What's
guests.
that noise? Is that maybe that's the start of the party? That's just starting a party.
Why can't
You
it
guys
always
are
be
having a party
Friday?
right there?
Can it only be Friday? Why? Wait, is it only Friday? What is today's Tuesday? Am I enough? Anyways, friends, if you're listening to this and you want to see what the Mustard Twins look like, guess what? You can go to youtube.com/theregulars. And if you're watching this, hey, friends, thank you, everyone who's been liking all of our episodes. It's really thoughtful. And if you have the time, the second right now, give us a like. We like those, and it helps people find us, and that's just always nice. What else? Follow us on Instagram. If you do have dumb stories, please send it to us at The Regulars Podcast. We love them.
Yes.
Yes.
I have so many now. And then I'm just getting like a backlog of dumb stories, and it's great.
That's amazing. Maybe we'll unpack them tomorrow with a secret guest that we will figure
okay.
out.
Maybe Mr. Casual Friday will come on tomorrow. Okay.
I literally want to shove you into the ocean.
I know you do.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you to everyone in the chat. We adore you all. And we will see you all tomorrow at 12:30.
Bye.
Bye.